With the third pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Reed Sheppard.
My teammates, they've given me so much confidence this year. They're just saying, like, you belong, so just go out and just hoop.
Reed Sheppard has been a difference maker.
I tell you what, Reed Sheppard, he's not afraid of the moment.
I think Reed can be a star in this league. He has his own story to write, and he's writing it right now.
The sharpest eye in college hoops went completely blind. Reed Sheppard was dropping 52.1% from downtown at Kentucky. Nobody in the whole country was touching that number. He steps into the pros, falls all the way down to 33.8%. 52 nights on the floor, 3 times in the starting 5, 4.4 points a night. Third pick in the whole draft, sitting in single digits. Houston had him glued to the pine so long, the whole league moved on and forgot about him. But right now, this year, 12.5 points a night, 40.7% from deep, Rising Stars jersey on his back, 31 points dropped on Golden State like it was nothing. This kid is a completely different human being. So what goes wrong when a once-in-a-generation talent loses the thing that made him dangerous? And what goes right when he gets it back? To figure out how Shepard disappeared, you gotta go back to where he first became lethal. This was never just a hobby for Reed Sheppard. This was his destiny. His dad, Jeff Shepard, most outstanding player of the entire 1998 NCAA tournament, wearing Kentucky blue. His mom, Stacey Reed, piled up over 1,400 points in her college career, also at Kentucky. When both your parents lived and breathed that sport and made their money dropping buckets, shooting ain't something you learn, it's something you inherit. And out of everybody in that family tree, Reed might be the most dangerous of them all. At Kentucky, this kid was connecting on 52.1% of his threes. Not 42, not 45, 52%. Best number in the whole entire country. And he wasn't cherry-picking easy looks either. He went off for 7 threes in a single game, not once, but twice. 12.5 points, 4.5 dimes, 4.1 boards, 2.5 steals every single night. National Freshman of the Year, SEC Freshman of the Year. And get this, he was doing all of that coming off the bench. The coldest shooter in America wasn't even in the starting lineup. Calipari had so many weapons, he could afford to keep his most dangerous one on ice. But stats don't show you everything. Behind those closed locker room doors, Shepard was turning into something scary. Kentucky brought in next-level shot tracking tech, cameras breaking down arc, release, trajectory every single second. Most guys peek at the numbers once in a while. Shepard, he ate that data for breakfast. Every single afternoon, him and assistant coach John Welch grinding, country music in the background, rep after rep after rep, tweaking his mechanics based on exactly what the numbers were screaming at him. When standing catch and shoot felt too comfortable, they cranked up the difficulty. 7-foot managers flying at him, hands in his grill, pure organized madness. And then one session changed his entire story. Welch watched him overthink it, watched the ball rattle out. Then suddenly, Shepard locked in. 42 threes in a row. NBA distance, defenders running at him full speed. That right there is not a hot shooting day. That is a superpower. So when draft night 2024 hit, Houston made their move without blinking. 3rd overall selection. The number crunchers were in love. The Rockets front office saw a difference maker, a guy who could pull defenders away from the basket, slash off screens, and light up the scoreboard from anywhere on the floor. They had the most dangerous shooter in college basketball history sitting right in their lap. Bloodline of champions, ceiling through the roof. And what did they do with him? They sat him down. You gotta understand what Houston was working with. This wasn't a youth movement, this was a win right now situation. Fred VanVleet running the show like a seasoned general. Jalen Green putting up buckets every night. Dylan Brooks bringing that dog energy on defense. Emin Thompson doing things athletically that shouldn't be humanly possible. Alperen Şengün operating like a full-blown all-star in the paint. So where exactly does a 6'2" rookie with a jumper squeeze into that puzzle? Ime Udoka doesn't hand out anything for free. You fight for every single minute you get. No favors because of your draft position. But here's the part that nobody wanted to say out loud. How do you fight for minutes when you're only out there for 8 of them? How do you get comfortable when the ball finds your hands maybe 6 times a night? How do you show the coaching staff what you're made of while the starters are out there battling for playoff spots? The answer is simple. You can't. The scoreboard told the whole ugly story. 52 games, 3 starts, 4.4 points a night, 35.1% from the field, 33.8% from 3. The most dangerous shooter in college basketball had quietly become one of the most inefficient triggers in the entire NBA. Pull up the film from year 1. That is a completely different soul wearing the same jersey. Every open look came with hesitation attached. Every aggressive play got second-guessed before it started. The killer from Lexington had turned into a shadow, and shooting was only half the nightmare. Here's the chapter everyone skipped over. Every opposing coach in the league was circling Reed Sheppard's name on the scouting report. They looked at the tape. They saw a 6'2", 185-pound guard trying to body up against full-grown NBA athletes. So they went hunting. Every single pick and roll was aimed directly at Shepard. Every isolation play had his name written on it. And Udoka was watching every second of it. You cannot hand crunch time minutes to a guy the other team scores on every time down the floor. So Shepard watched from the sideline, game after game after game. Eventually, Houston made a call that stung. They sent a 3rd overall draft pick down to the G League, Rio Grande Valley Vipers. That is a humbling moment for any young player. But something inside him woke up down there. Very first game he suited up, 49 points on the board. 8 threes splashing through, 6 assists dished. He averaged 30.7 points a night and knocked down 40.5% from beyond the arc. The players accept that reality. Grab a seat, fall in line, wait for somebody to notice them. But then September 2025 arrived and completely flipped Reed Sheppard's world upside down. Houston stopped playing around in the summer of 2025. No more patience, no more process. Championship window open, and they were diving through it head first. Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks got packaged up and shipped to Phoenix in a deal that shook the whole league. What came back to Houston? Kevin Durant, the Kevin Durant. 4 scoring titles, 2 Finals MVP trophies, a first ballot Hall of Famer still operating at an elite level. Then they locked up Dorian Finney-Smith on a $53 million deal, pulled Clint Capella back into the fold, locked Fred VanVleet in long term. This roster was built for one reason and one reason only: winning a ring. And then the phone rang with the worst possible news imaginable. Late September, days before training camp opens its doors, Fred VanVleet's knee gives out. ACL, done for the entire season. This wasn't just losing a point guard. VanVleet had this team playing the most disciplined basketball in franchise history. Lowest turnover rate they had ever seen. He was ice cold in the biggest moments of their playoff run. The calm in the middle of every storm. The steady veteran hand guiding a squad full of young, hungry talent. Gone. Just like that. A massive crater opens up at the most critical spot on the entire floor, and Houston looks around at their options. Aaron Holiday, a solid veteran who can hold things down, and Reed Sheppard, the exact same guy they kept nailed to the bench for a full season. No pressure whatsoever, right? Wrong. The pressure was suffocating. This organization didn't give up Jalen Green to run a development program. They gave up Jalen Green to win. Every possession carried weight. Every game felt like a must-win, and early on, the results were not encouraging. Opening night against Oklahoma City, the reigning champions, rocking a loud, hostile building, Shepard connected on 2 of his 7 three-point attempts. Couldn't keep his assignment in front of him on defense. Got attacked over and over and over again. Houston dropped the game. Every dark prediction about Shepard felt like it was coming true right there. Detroit came next, 9 points, 3 of 11 shooting. 3 turns found Reed Sheppard and pulled him to the side. The cameras missed it. The reporters didn't pick up the story until weeks down the road. Durant, a man who has played alongside Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and every elite shooter the modern game has produced, saw something worth saving inside this kid. The message he delivered was short and straight to the point. Exactly what a drowning 21-year-old needed somebody to say to him. Believe in your jumper, quiet your brain, let it fly. Hearing that from a random teammate is just background noise. Hearing it from Kevin Durant hits you somewhere deep. Picture that moment clearly. A young man completely buried in self-doubt. One of the greatest scorers this sport has ever seen, refusing to watch that talent go to waste. The kind of real mentorship that rewrites the whole career arc. The overnight transformation didn't happen because that's not how real growth works, but the mental shift was immediate. The hesitation started losing its grip. The belief started filling back in. The shots that kept rattling out started finding the bottom of the net. Udoka had been demanding it since day one. Go out there and earn it. For the first time, Shepard had an answer. And then Reed Sheppard stopped just getting better. He completely evolved. And what unfolded over the next few months forced everyone to rewrite everything they thought they understood about this kid. Early November, Ime Udoka drew a line in the sand. No more inconsistent minutes, no more living on the bench. Reed Sheppard was going to get 20-plus minutes every single night, without exception. Produce or pack up. He produced. The shooting came back first, not the timid version full of second guesses from his first year in the league. The Lexington assassin showed back up. 40.7% from three on 6.2 attempts every night. High volume, high efficiency, deadly. Then the streak started, and it wouldn't quit. 39 straight games with at least one three-pointer splashing through the net. Almost the entire first half of the season without a single night where he didn't connect from deep. It finally ended against Memphis, but the statement had already been made loud and clear. That's not a player running hot for a few weeks. That's a shooter who finally remembered who he is. But one night above all others changed every single conversation around Reed Sheppard. November 26th, Chase Center, Golden State Warriors. The kind of building that has chewed up young players and spit them out since the jump. 17,000 of the most knowledgeable basketball fans on the planet. A floor where 4 championships were born and frauds get their masks ripped off. Houston was trailing at halftime. Kevin Durant unavailable. Steven Adams unavailable. 2 cornerstone pieces sitting in street clothes against a team with serious playoff intentions. The type of situation that exposes young rosters and puts young players 6 feet under. Instead, Reed Sheppard grabbed that moment by the throat. 31 points, 9 rebounds, a new career best. 5 assists, a new career best. 4 threes drilled, a 12-point deficit erased by a 21-year-old who spent the majority of his first season collecting did not play designations. That single performance made him the second youngest player in Rockets history to go for 30-plus points, 8-plus boards, and 5-plus assists in the same game. The only one who did it younger, Alperen Sengun. Not bad company to keep at all. But the growth story runs way deeper than one explosive night. Check the full season numbers. 12.5 points per game, 3.0 assists, 2.5 rebounds, 1.4 steals, 40.7% from 3. In year 1, he was making his team worse every time he stepped on the floor. Statistically, one of the least valuable players the entire league had to offer. This season, he's a genuine difference maker on a 33-20 squad, scrapping for home court advantage in the toughest conference in basketball. And the numbers get even scarier when he gets the starting nod. 5 starts this year, 14 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2.3 steals, nearly 29 minutes a night. Hand this kid the keys and he drives. Even the defensive end has transformed. Teams still come at him, no question, but the easy buckets are drying up. He's climbing the team leaderboard in steals, hands constantly in passing lanes, reading plays before they even develop. Team Mello, right alongside Cooper Flagg, and the most electric young talent the sport has to offer. And here's the part that should terrify every other team in the Western Conference. Amen Thompson is shooting 27% from 3 for his entire career. Sengun is a post player living in the paint. The Rockets had a serious spacing problem. Too many bodies fighting over the same real estate down low. Reed Sheppard is the answer to that equation. The moment he steps on the floor, everything spreads out. Driving lanes crack open like fault lines. Thompson's freak athleticism finally has breathing room to operate. Şengün's post moves have open angles to work with. And Kevin Durant's entire offensive life becomes dramatically more comfortable. Shepard doesn't just fill a box score, he makes every single teammate around him more dangerous. That is the line separating a shooter from an actual weapon. So stop asking whether Reed Sheppard has gotten better. That conversation is finished. The real question is, how high is his ceiling and when does he bust through it? This is bigger than a second-year breakout. This is what happens when a generational talent with a gift inside his DNA stops fighting his own instincts and finally just trusts them. Houston is sitting at 33-20, locked into 4th place out west. Durant, Şengün, Thompson, Jabari Smith, and now a perimeter weapon who can heat up and take over a game at any given second. The Rockets nearly erased this kid's entire future, nearly went out and found a different point guard to fill that hole, nearly let the best thing sitting right in their own building walk right out the door. Rising stars just happened. Playoffs are loading up on the horizon. 1 year ago, people were genuinely questioning whether Reed Sheppard had any business being in this league. Right now, the question has completely flipped. Is the NBA ready for what this kid is turning into? Drop your thoughts below, like the video, and subscribe for more.